Hi, so today I'm going to be doing a video diary and kind of just discussing my amazing experiences in Australia. So first off, I want to start by saying Australia and studying abroad was the best experience of my life. I am so happy that I did it and so proud of myself for accomplishing so many great things while I was there, for myself personally. So first off, I'm going to start by saying I have suffered from mental illness in the past. During my high school years, I had major depressive disorder and general anxiety disorder. It was a very hard time in my life. I honestly wasn't sure if I'd graduate high school, let alone succeed in college like I am right now. It was just a super hard time in my life. Thankfully, since then, I've done amazing. I am no longer on medication and just doing very great and succeeding in college. Now, since I've been doing well for all of these years, there was still part of me missing. There was something not there. I still wasn't happy, and I was happy, but I wasn't taking life for what it was. I was just kind of surviving and not living. Now, I wanted to do something drastic that would get myself out there and do something that I wasn't typically comfortable with, and studying abroad truly was that experience for me, and I'm so glad that I did it. Obviously, with anxiety, I don't suffer from anxiety anymore, but I still am an anxious person. I don't have panic attacks and am scared to go to the food store or go to school, but I still have that anxiety in me. So studying abroad was scary for me, and it was extremely going out of my comfort zone. But I couldn't, it was just such a great experience and it made me feel more confident and made that anxiety even easier to deal with, because I know that I can do these things on my own. I currently live at home, and I commute to Arcadia every day for school. So I am used to having my parents here. I'm used to that's kind of like a comfort zone with me. I have my parents, they do the food shopping, I just always have them here. They cook our dinners and stuff like that. But studying abroad really was able to make me independent and really discover myself. So going abroad I did so many things that I never thought I would do. For example, I got my first tattoo. I cliff rappelled off a freaking cliff, which 2 years ago, even a year ago, I would never imagine doing. I signed up for skydiving, although it didn't happen due to bad weather, but I signed up for it, which is a big step for me. So studying abroad, I really discovered myself. I discovered things that I like, things that I don't like. I discovered who I am and what I want to do with my life. I've always kind of known that I wanted to be a psychologist since I suffered from that depression, but I've even discovered even more, like a more meaning for it. I highly suggest studying abroad for anybody that's ever thinking about it. It might not be for everyone, but it was definitely such an amazing experience for me and my friends that I made when I was there. I've always had problems making friends just because I was shy and anxious, but really relying on the people around you because they are in the same position as you is something that I definitely got used to, and was good. I didn't rely on people heavily, but it was good to have people that were in the same boat as you and was kind of understood where you were coming from. So learned how to cook and clean and take care of my own room and pay some bills. Not really bills, but I had to pay my own phone bill every month, like by myself. I usually give my parents money, but they pay the bill themselves. So I got used to paying my own bill. I wasn't making money while I was there, so I had to learn how to budget for myself. And these are things that I did all throughout the semester. It wasn't like I just did it once and it was over. I did budgeting every single week. I did my food shopping every week and my laundry. It really turned me into an independent person that I honestly don't think I would get until years later when I'm done college, since I live at home. Which I'm really, really happy about, and my parents for sure are happy about it. I've made dinner this week already, and I'm doing my own laundry now, obviously, and even helping out with food shopping and paying the bills. So my parents are definitely really happy about me and becoming independent and like even discovering myself. They realize how happy I am, and that's something that your parents can never love so much. They just want you to be happy. They've seen me at my worst, and they've seen me grow and become better out of the depression, but this studying abroad has really pushed me out and made me live instead of just survive, which is something that I can never thank studying abroad enough. I am so happy that I did it, and I've truly discovered myself throughout the whole thing. As I said previously, my house and my home and my parents are all of my comfort zone, and I completely threw myself out of that zone and into the real world, across the world, not even in the same state or the same country, but in a completely different country, and let alone the other side of the world. It's not Europe, that's a 5-hour flight away. This was hours and hours, 20-hour flight away from what I'm used to and being home. So this really threw me out into the world and made me fend for myself and do things on my own and figure things out for myself. I couldn't just call my parents. I mean, I could, but the hour difference made it difficult, but that was something that was really good for me. I really had to figure things out by myself and really be my own comfort zone and figure out where I feel comfortable and safe, and figuring things that I like and that I don't like, and figuring out who I am as a person, which is something that I'll never forget and I will always cherish. Australia will always be a second home to me because I've discovered myself there. It's always going to be that place for me. And I'm so thankful for it. Some of the things that pushed me outside of my comfort zone, there were so many, but just learning how to pay those bills and pay for my phone plans and figure out what I want to do, and do I want to go to class? And I did go to class, but all of these decisions were my own decisions. It wasn't my parents influencing me or my siblings influencing me. These were all decisions that I made on my own, and things that I've learned in life that have led up to this moment and have literally let my wings fly. It was just I can't even state how amazing it was and how thankful I am and happy that I am that I had done this. When I first started at Arcadia, I honestly wasn't planning on studying abroad. I knew Arcadia was a very heavy study abroad school, but I never thought that it would be something for me. I was such a homebody. Like I said, it's my comfort zone, and this was just something that I decided to do it, and I'm so glad that I did, and this is something that I can totally look back on and realize that I did this for myself. I've always worried about other people and taking care of other people and doing things for other people, but this has truly been something that I've done for me and I've done for myself, and I will never forget that. It was amazing. I don't even know what to say. While I was in Australia, I also became a better member of the global community. I have discovered diversity even more than what I'm used to. I'm used to Philadelphia and the Philadelphia suburbs, but I learned even more about diversity and really submerged myself in the culture and discovered even more about Australia and about our global problems. I'm so used to the bubble of America, and but I really got to get out there. Obviously, Australia is kind of similar to the States, but I was able to submerge myself into some of the issues that Australia deals with. One of those things is I really looked into the homelessness situation in Melbourne specifically. I noticed among the streets there were lots of homeless people, which I am used to in the Philadelphia area. In my town specifically, or the town next to us, we have a soup kitchen, which is pretty typical around here. But I really looked into Melbourne's homeless situation, which is booming and is a very big and real problem there, which I have discovered through research that I did for a specific assignment. I did apply for Sacred Heart, which is a homeless place, a charity, where they help homeless people with food and getting jobs and interviews and put clothes on their backs and have a shelter over their heads. I did apply there, but I didn't get the job since I was only there for a couple of months. It wasn't enough time to get trained. But saying that, I still continued to try and help homeless people as much as I could. Every time I went into the city, I brought food with me from the food store that I had left over, or honestly bought a couple boxes of granola bars or some snacks that I could bring and give to homeless people just to help them not starve and have to worry about that. I wish I could have done more while I was there, and if I was there for a few more months, I think I would have been able to help at Sacred Heart and really get to understand the homeless situation even further. That is something that I am hoping to do when I'm here, back in America. Homelessness is an issue everywhere, but it definitely was prominent in Melbourne, but it definitely is here in Philadelphia. So I'm hoping to help out our Man on Main Street, which is a soup kitchen. But they also do other things like help out with interviews and getting people on their feet. That is something that I will always cherish with me, and something that I'm thankful that has opened my eyes up to. I've always noticed homeless people on the streets when I go around the Philadelphia area, but I didn't quite understand it, and it was just something that I overlooked. But in Melbourne, I was able to see these issues and try and even get down to the root of the problem, which is often drugs and abuse and mental illness, and that's something that further I want to look into, because I am a psychology major and I do want to help rehab people and rehabilitate them. It is something that I am definitely interested in and hope to further go through and hope to further look into. So I will never forget that, and I will always cherish that with me. Something that I also am very passionate about in Australia is their gun laws. Here in America, we have shootings all the time, senseless acts of crime and violence and murder, and it was really truly amazing to me to see the gun laws that they had in Australia, and it is something that I really would like to start bringing home to America and start fighting for what I believe in. I believe that guns shouldn't be able to I don't believe anybody should just be able to buy a gun. I do think we do need bigger background checks. If I could, I'd take all guns away, but I understand that it is also a sport of hunting and shooting ranges and stuff like that, but I believe that that's the only place they should be there for. They shouldn't. It's a very controversial topic here in the States, and it's something that I would like to personally stand up for, and I would like to speak up for what I believe in that specific area. I know when I was in Melbourne, I'm pretty sure there was only one shooting when we were there, and it was an isolated incident, but something like that happens every single day here in Philadelphia, specifically. I know it happens all over our country, but specifically in Philadelphia, it does happen more than once a day, a shooting or something, and it amazed me that it only happened about one time when I was there in 5 months in Melbourne, and it was kind of a big deal because that stuff doesn't happen there, and I would love to see it become like that here. even though the shooting itself is awful, I would like to see those kind of numbers here in the States and here in my city. That is something that I definitely look forward to working for, and I know that my parents feel the same way, and that's how I was raised. I was raised to understand that way, and it's something that I definitely look forward to fighting for with my parents and with my family, and even opening the conversation with others as well is something that I look forward to. Studying abroad has opened my mind to so many things about myself, about the country, about the world, and it's something that I'm so glad that I got, and I'm so glad that I've opened my eyes to it, and I'm already suggesting to friends and family that they study abroad as well, or spend a long time in another country that might be outside of their comfort zone. It was amazing, but there were so many things that have happened that have opened my eyes and made me realize that there are issues in this world. It's not just the States, it's everywhere. There are issues everywhere, all over the world, and that's something that I'll never forget, that I will always hold with me, and has truly changed me for the better. So that is it. This is how I've discovered myself and have become a better global community member.